Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. I am very happy to say I've reached 5,000 subscribers. For me, that is a very overwhelming amount. I never thought that I'd even have 1,000. So I'm very happy and very grateful to all of you who are now subscribed and those of you who are now watching. I see that there's many of you from the United States, I've seen New Mexico, California, Pennsylvania, Ohio, New Jersey. I've seen Georgia, North Carolina, Alabama, I think Kentucky, and I'm sure I'm missing some, and I'm sorry if I missed you. I know there's been some people from Alberta, Canada, from the UK, very excited about that, Germany, and also Australia, and New Zealand. So I'm very happy. Thank you all very much for having left your comments, and thank you for liking my videos. I want to thank you by continuing a little bit more on this 2017 Christmas by giving you 12 days of Christmas. I will be doing 12 days consecutive of little crafts and little tips for your Christmas and holiday decorating. I will cap it off with a short little video of my home as I decorate it for Christmas. So again, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, and Merry Christmas to you. All right, this is day 11 of 12 days of Christmas, and today I'm going to show you how to decorate some garland that you can put on your mantle, or you can put on a doorway or an entryway. So let me tell you what the supplies are going to be, and we'll get started. All right, so the obvious thing that we're first going to need is going to be some garland. I got my garland from the Home Depot. You can get your garland from anywhere you want. Mine is a 9-foot piece of garland, and normally they are about 6 foot to 9 foot long. So that just depends on where you're going to put it, and then you can decide what length you need. I think this cost me about $10. I remember thinking that was a really great deal for this garland because it had little bits of little pine bits in there, and I thought they were really cute, little pine cones in there. I also have this other garland, and this garland has what looks like to be like magnolia leaves. I'm not really sure. But there you go, you can see it up close. And then it's got these white pine cones, and I thought it was really beautiful. I really like the magnolia leaves. I normally prefer the brown pine cones, but I went ahead and went for this because I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. And I spent $20 for this at a store called At Home. I didn't get any discount or anything on it. I just thought it was beautiful and I had to have it. And you know, once in a while you splurge on something. So I went ahead and I got that, and I'm going to incorporate that into my existing garland here. Excuse the noise. I'm also going to be putting some ribbon into my garland, and that is completely up to you. Maybe you just want some ribbon to make some bows. And I have these two ribbons here, and I'm going to go ahead and use both. You only need one style of ribbon really for your garland. It doesn't really matter what you decide, but really you just need one. And if you want to make a garland that intertwines within here, and then you want some bows on each side maybe, or on the end, then you need about 12 yards of ribbon. I still have some ribbon here left over on this roll. This was a 30 yards of ribbon, and I've been using this on so many things to decorate. This was a $10 roll. They're half off at Hobby Lobby in case you're interested. A nice big roll like this will go a long way. And they also have it in solid red. I don't know, I think they also had like in a gold. So it just depends on what you want to use. But I don't know what they might have left anymore because a lot of things are gone. But you can go to the Dollar Tree and get a bunch of little rolls for $1, and you get a great value out of those. Okay, so I need at least 6 yards because I want to make 2 bows, and for 2 bows I need 3 yards each. So I'm going to see if I can at least get that out of here. But I also have this other ribbon, and it's completely optional, like I said, because I do want to intertwine this into my garland. And I love this because it has the burlap, and I'm using some burlap in my home, so this will match along with the plaid that I've also been using. So just pick something that goes with your decor. Now, completely optional to add extra onto here is some lights, and I've got some lights here. I've got a string of lights, and this is a 100 mini lights, and this is a plug-in type. I would probably just maybe recommend that maybe you get like a battery operated light, especially if you're going to put it somewhere where there's no outlet nearby. I'm going to go ahead and try and use these, and I'm saying try because I may not end up using it. My husband is at this very moment out there finishing up building a faux fireplace for me. I really wanted one in my living room, so he's making that for me. I think it's coming out really pretty. It's very simple, and I think it's going to look nice once we've put everything on it. but I have to consider where the outlet is in accordance to that fireplace. It's going to be behind it, so I'm going to be directing the plug-in somewhere from the middle of this garland. And that's a long story, but for me, that's the way it's going to work. So I think I'm going to start at the middle, work my way out, and then come back and bring in the cords this way. All right, so that's going to be that little situation with those lights. It's going to be a little bit of a pickle for me figuring the lights, but we'll try it. All right, another thing that I have are these little berry stems, and these are just pieces actually from berry picks or stems. I don't even remember what they are because I've had them for so long. And this is all that I have left of these particular berries. I'm going to be cutting them up into these little tiny little branches, and then I'll just work them in here and there. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I want to tie in the berries that I also have in the rest of my living room. That's pretty much it as far as the items that you might need. Keep in mind, might need. These tools that you will need are wire cutters, so we can cut wire that we tie up our bows with, and some scissors to cut up our ribbon. Any tags that we might have anywhere. So that's basically it. I'm not even going to use any hot glue to put any of this together. I want to be able to take it apart if I have to for next year. Okay, so let's get to crafting. The first thing I want to do is figure out those lights. And of course, you'll figure them out according to what you're using. But I'm going to go ahead and put my lights in there. That's why I'm starting at basically with what I'm going to just consider the middle. And by doing that, I'm just going to fold it in half so I'll know exactly sort of kind of where the middle is. And it's right over here. Now, you do want to poof up any garland whenever you get them. Make sure you poof them up, so make them pretty, pull them out, and make them look nice. But also, you will also be doing more of that poofing. So I'm just going to take my lights, put in my wire, grab a couple of these little pine things and just twist it once, just to hold the light in place. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to be doing a lot of twisting because I don't want to have to be struggling with it when I want to take the lights off in case those lights go bad. Speaking of which, you should always test your lights before you start using them, and I have not. So, but I'm going to go ahead and just show you how to put them in. It's very simple, like I was saying. Just lay them down, find where two little branches can just crisscross once, and that's enough. And then just poof all the other ones around it. And of course, you'll be poofing it a whole bunch of times. Okay? And I'm just going to keep straightening this out. Put some more. Twist over here. Anywhere I feel like all these lights just pop up too much, just twist some little branches in front of them. And that'll keep them in place. And then just poof everything around them. Got to bring this one around this way. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to continue putting the lights on here, and then I'll be back and we'll put in the next item. Okay, so I'm back with my ribbon, and I've gone ahead and measured to see how much I happen to have, and that's what I'm going to work with. I needed at least 6 yards of this ribbon to make 2 3-yard bows, but I didn't have 6 yards. I have about 5 yards, just a little tad more. So what I did instead is I folded it in half, and then I've cut them. So I've actually, instead of 3 yards, I have about 2.5, a little bit extra, not very much extra to even, boast about. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make my bows with what I have. But you really want to have at least 3 yards to have some nice big round bows, and that's all I'm going to make is 2 round bows. So I'm just going to take a little bit at the end here, about 8 inches, and I'm going to pinch it, and I'm just going to start making some loops, and I'm just going to make sure all my loops are the same size. So I do a little twist first, and then I just decide that that's the size that I want my loop, and I'm just going to make as many as I can, and then just leave a little bit at the end for a little tail. So I'm just going to twist and loop, bring the first 2 up together to see that they're the right size, and that's all you need to do, because now you've got this one to measure and this one to measure with, and just continue doing that. Okay, I'm coming at the end of my ribbon, and I decided that I'm going to go ahead and leave this bit, and this bit is my little tails. I could do another little loop and just have a little short tail. think I will. Okay, let's just do one more little loop. So now I've actually got, all together I have 3 on one side and 4 on the other. It doesn't matter because now together I have 7 loops, and it's going to be a round bow, so they're all just going to move around, so it doesn't matter how many I have on any one side. Okay, I'm just going to cut a nice piece of wire here. It's about 8 or 10 inches long, and then I'm just going to twist behind it and twist the bow, fold my ends together. From the fold upward to the wired edge, I'm going to cut like a little triangle bit, so then I have these little tails. You don't have to do that. You can cut them straight, or you can cut them at an angle. And now all I'm going to do is just make sure my 2 little tails are downward, and then I'm going to bring my loops around. Just pull them apart so that you make this nice round bow, and then you're ready to poof it up, make it pretty. Okay, that's all you're going to do. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the other one, but I'm not going to poof them up right now. I'm going to wait till I've actually tied them onto my garland before I do that. Otherwise, I'm giving myself more work. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on my other bow. Okay, I've got my second bow done. That's all I want to do with those, and I've got them ready to be put on my garland. I want to continue decorating my garland, so I'm going to move my wire cutters out of the way here, including this wire. Let's get rid of some trash here on the floor. Okay, let's bring this back into view. Now I want to incorporate this other garland. And I know my center's right here because that's where I started my wire. Here's my plugins right here. So this is my center. And let me find the center of this other one because it might not fit all the way. The other choice that I have is to cut it into pieces and insert it here and there, but I don't want to cut it. Okay, so I'm just going to grab it from the middle and just open up my pine, my garland, and then just slip this in there. And with 2 of the little pine branches, I'm going to twist, but this time I'm going to twist a couple of times just to make sure that it's in there nice and well held down. And then I'm just going to take the rest of it and just spread open, so that I can place this in there. Maneuver your pine cones so they're facing up. They don't get stuck facing down. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and continue on this side, and then I'll do the other side. All right, I'm almost finished tying up this garland, and all the little pieces of the leaves keep getting broken because it is dry leaves. They're actual natural leaves on here. And then I'm just going to direct this little bit of the end behind the garland. Okay, so now just poof up whatever you need to poof from the pine. And as you can see, it didn't go all the way to the end, or neither to the other end. It's just somewhere centered on the whole pine garland. So now I'm going to take my ribbon that I said I was going to entwine in the whole thing. I want it to go all the way to the end. So about right there. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna move this over. And I want this to hang off the end, okay? So I'm just gonna grab it right here and pinch it and then put it right there. It's not hanging off too much. Pinch it right there, and again, grab 2 pieces of pine and then just twist it around it, okay? And that's all you're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these little ends off so that I can have the same finish. And then I'm just going to loop it, pinch it, and tie it. So loop it, pinch it, and tie it, okay? That's it, all the way. All right, and I've finished putting this whole ribbon on here. And then I've got my 2 bows that I've made. and they will be placed on here, but I'm not going to place them on yet until I get them on my mantle. But I will give you an idea of what I will do. Is I'm just going to find a spot where I can tie them on, and again, I'm just going to twist that wire around either the ribbon that's been pinched there, the existing garland, or the pine garland, whichever one of those two I want to pinch it on. Just grab it onto something. Once you've got it on there, you'll poof up your bows, make them look pretty. And I want this to drape on the mantle, so wherever they're grabbed onto here, that's where I'm going to put the bows. And you'll see that once it's hanging where I want it to hang. Okay, so that's how the bow is going to look, and we're just going to give it a little bit of a bend here, so it kind of gives you an idea that the garland would be coming along the top, and then a bow right here, and then it would fall down. All right, so the other thing I want to just do is just add some berries, and this will be done. All right, so here's my garland. It's all lit up, and I've got all the decorations that I wanted to put on there, including all the little berries. And I'll get that up close to you so you can see. I just took them apart and tied them onto the little pine bits. And I've gone ahead and put the bows on there just so you can see how that looks. All right. So let me know what you thought. I hope you did get a little idea of how to put together a garland if you haven't already done so. And I hope it inspires you to go ahead and do that if you're just feeling a little tired. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. It is a little bit of a work, especially because I put that second garland, that dry floral. It was a little harsh on the hand, so maybe you want to do something different. Maybe just put some little flowers in there, or just some berries. Keep it simple. And your ribbon. Ribbon looks really pretty. And the lights, of course, if you want to do that. All right, so before I close this up, I'd like to do a little shout out. Some of you have been putting on the comments where you are from, so I'd like to go ahead and mention those. Some of these are repeated, some of them have not. There is one from the UK, forgive me, and the last time I mentioned, I butchered the name, but I had another one, and I think it's Berkshire, I'm not really sure. Please forgive me. I tried going back looking for the comments so that I could write this down, because when I saw it, I was in the vehicle with my husband and I was looking at my comments and I saw it and I said, yes, I will mention you, and I completely forgot. So if you want to go ahead and do that, I will certainly, if I notice it, because let me tell you, a lot of these comments I don't notice, and I go back and I'm like, where did this one come from? I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and do a little shout out, but if you put it in there, I will try and do that. This is going to be it. My last video will be a little tour of how I've decorated here and there around my house. It's not anything big, but I'm just going to show you because I think it's going to be a cute way to, you know, cap this whole thing off so you can see where I put the stuff that I made. Okay, I've got a lady from Alabama. She said, Alabama girl is what she said. I've got Tampa, Florida. Of course, I've got South Florida, and then I've also got South Carolina. I've got West Virginia, Maine, and somebody put Belfast, Maine. So I don't know if that's the same person or a separate person from Maine, and then also Belfast, Maine. I know that the lady that put Belfast, Maine is Velia, if I can remember that correctly. I'm horrible at names, so if I got that right, wow. Okay, we also have Michigan from Tucson, Arizona. I've had Arizona, people put Arizona a few times, but this one specifically says Tucson, Arizona. We've got West Massachusetts, or no, actually this is Northern Massachusetts. My N looks like a W, haha. Okay, we got Maryland, and then we've got specifically Baltimore, Maryland. Illinois, we've got Rockford, Illinois, and then we also have Granite City, Illinois. Palacios, Texas, and Days, Texas, or Diaz, Texas, D-Y-E-S-S, Texas, East Texas, New Hampshire, Shelbyville, Kentucky, Hampton, Georgia, Ithaca, New York, Demont, Quebec, Canada. That one slipped into this here in this one. I had a separate one for that. Okay, I've got St. Cloud, Minnesota as well. Also from Canada, we've got British Columbia. And I think I've mentioned that one before, but I think I had a new one. Manitoba, Canada, and Niagara Falls, Canada. Awesome. I also got Toronto, Canada. And then from other countries as well, we've got Denmark, New Zealand, Brazil, Venezuela, Argentina, Australia, And of course, again, New Zealand. Did I say New Zealand? Yes, I did. I think I wrote it twice on my little card. So that's my little shout out. Thank you all very much for putting down in the comments where you're from. I was really interested in who's watching and where from. And I'm really excited that it's a little bit of everybody. So thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And share me on your social medias. Give me a big old thumbs up. And as always, like I always say, enjoy.